Three, two, one.
In a world where AI writes faster, data decides quicker, and attention spans last shorter, do the 7 habits of highly effective people still matter? Or have they become the leadership equivalent of an old textbook? Wise but outdated. Today, we're revisiting this season's arc with a challenge. Maybe the 7 habits didn't expire. Maybe they evolved. Hey there, Office Ninjas, and welcome back to the Office Ninja Podcast. We're powered by Spotify and streaming on YouTube via the Office Ninja channel. You already know, we drop fresh episodes every Sunday, and if you want to join our unfiltered, real-time talk about HR, people, and leadership, catch us on TikTok Live every Friday night. Now, we've just spent the last few weeks unpacking Stephen Covey's timeless habits through the lens of 2026 and beyond. We ask what proactive means when algorithms try to predict your next move. We redefined sharpening the saw for an economy addicted to burnout. And through it all, one thing became clear. The 7 habits aren't outdated. They're just waiting for new interpreters. That's us, the new generation of leaders. First up, principles don't age. They adapt. Covey's message was never about methods. It was about principles. Methods expire. Paradigms evolve. But principles, they outlast everything. Be proactive in 1990 meant taking initiative. In 2026, it means taking back your agency from the algorithm. Put first things first used to mean time management. Now it's all about attention management. Think win-win once meant negotiation. Today, it means mutual belonging across cultures and AI systems. The world changed. The tools changed. But what we value, integrity, empathy, focus, growth, still holds the center. Principles don't age. They adapt. Next up, from personal effectiveness to collective consciousness. The original 7 habits were designed for individual mastery, how to become you 2.0. But in 2026 and beyond, effectiveness has become a collective art form. We're no longer judged just by our personal productivity, but by how we help others thrive. Leaders today aren't measured by control. They're measured by connection. That's the biggest evolution. From personal success to shared significance. From independence to interdependence. So the question isn't just, are you effective? It's, are you elevating the system around you? Let's see our letter sender for the week. Dear Office Ninja, I am an HR officer trying to implement leadership training for Gen Z managers. They say Covey's 7 habits are too old school. How do I convince them it's still relevant? This letter is from Generational Tug of War. Hey Tug, great question. And I'll be honest, don't convince them. Contextualize it for them. Don't sell Covey's habits as commandments. Present them as conversations. Show them how begin with the end in mind connects to purpose design. How synergize now means collaborating with AI. And how sharpen the saw translates to protecting your mental health. The habits haven't changed. Only their language has. Speak Gen Z. Teach timeless in TikTok length because wisdom doesn't need to trend to be true. Now let's recap the 7 Habits, the 2026 edition. Let's rewind the series. We said, paradigms and principles in the hybrid AI era. Lead from timeless values, not temporary systems. Second, be proactive, not programmed. Reclaim human choice from automation. Third, begin with the end in flux. Focus on essence, not fixed goals. Next, focus in the attention economy. Guard your peace like your password. Next, think win-win in borderless teams. Turn fairness into belonging. Next, empathy in a data-driven workplace. Balance metrics with meaning. Second to the last, Synergy 3.0. Evolve with AI. Don't compete with it. And lastly, sharpening the saw in a burnout economy. Rest is the new ROI. And now, we're in full circle. The 8th habit we don't talk about enough. Covey once wrote another book, The 8th Habit, From Effectiveness to Greatness. And I could add one line to that for 2026. It would be this. Greatness today isn't about doing more. It's about being more aware. The next level of leadership isn't louder. It's actually quieter. It listens deeper, learns faster, and acts more human, even in a machine-led world. And for our poll question for the week, which habit from the series do you need most right now? Is it A, be proactive, taking initiative again? B, focus in the attention economy, reclaiming clarity? Is it C, sharpen the saw, restoring your energy? Or is it D, think win-win, rebuilding connection? We would appreciate your answers, so please don't hesitate to put your comments down below. Thank you. To summarize this week's episode, the 7 habits didn't lose relevance. They gained a new dimension. The 2026 workplace doesn't need new wisdom. It needs new ways to apply old truths. Effectiveness is now collective, not individual. And great leaders in this decade will blend tech savviness with timeless empathy. And for our call to action, this week, revisit one habit from this series that hit you the hardest. Turn it from a note into practice. Because transformation doesn't happen when you learn something new. It happens when you live what you already know. And that's it for today's episode of the Office Ninja Podcast. If this whole series helped you see leadership through a fresher lens, share it with your team or the next generation of leaders you are mentoring. And remember, prioritize your inner peace. Because while the world keeps upgrading its systems, you're the only software worth protecting. See you next Sunday, ninjas.